Alright, so today we're going to be working on this 1986 Yamaha Big Bear 350. It's got a couple issues with it. I posted a couple shorts with it. It's got a mid-gear issue, which I'll explain in a second, and what happened there and how you can avoid it. And then I'm going to look at a couple other things because I have some parts that I can throw onto it. A little descriptive video here. First order of business. I just rebuilt the top end, and most people know you don't like run new engines for an extended period of time without changing the oil on them. So when I heard this grinding, cranking like noise in somewhere along there, I knew it was in the drive line, but I didn't know where it was, so I just drained the oil just to have peace of mind. I could check it. But whenever you drain your oil, change the fuel filter. If you don't do that, it's like taking a shower and not changing your clothes. Nasty. You should just change your oil filters. I'm gonna show you how to do that because it's kind of like a difficult spot on this four-wheeler. And a couple of tips for that because I've done it before and it's kind of odd. So I'm gonna do that. Should be super easy. And then we're gonna go over, I'm gonna put everything back together. I didn't get a video of taking it apart, but I can kind of describe how to do that. Not super hard. There's just a lot of nitty-gritty little things. Getting it back in, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that on my own. I might do that in a separate video, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, anyhow, I'm gonna get to that. Also, if you could subscribe, that'd be great. It's a brand new YouTube channel, and I'm posting very informative content on how to fix all of my broken projects. So you should subscribe. Okay, I got that propped up. Let me find I need a 3/8" ratchet. Here you go. And all we're doing, breaking, there's 3 bolts on it. There's one on the, you'll see them if you have a Yamaha Big Bear. You'll know what I'm talking about. No, it looks like it came out. Okay, so this is where you get a difficult part. You gotta lift this up, pull that bolt out, and then pull these 3 ones. So all I'm doing is just lifting up the shifter pedal as I pull that bottom bolt out, and it should be a little bit different than the other 2. They all look roughly the same, but one of them has like a thicker head to it. Don't even worry about it. It's not that big a deal. Okay, get this out. Give me a real pain in the butt. This is usually where you will have to take this pedal off, but if you get it just right, you can finagle that out. You gotta like maneuver these oil lines out of the way like that, and then boom. You just, so all I did there was shift it, put it into first gear, and then I shift it into neutral. And when you push down on the pedal, you gotta hold the pedal down in neutral, in the neutral position, then pull everything out, and you'll be all right. So, wow. I mean, I knew there was gonna be crap in the end, but dang. Let me show y'all what it's not supposed to look like. So, as you can see on the oil filter, there's all this black, like, sludge looking stuff. It looks pretty nasty. I don't know if that's normal. But I know it's there. It honestly doesn't even, it's metal. It's a little bit of metal shading. I just rebuilt the engine, so I'm hoping that's what that is. If not, then it's parts from up here, which actually, it looks like parts from up here, which then ran through my engine, so that's lovely. We're gonna spray that out with some brake clean real quick, or an oil filter like that. Get metal shavings in there, and you're able to access it. Just clean it out. Brake clean, carb clean, doesn't matter. Even QD cleaner, who cares? Just a bunch of brown sludge. Looks like from up here. Just spray this. There's nothing left in this thing. That's oh well. Should have another can of brake clean right there, but who knows? It's my dad's, so. All right. Once you get that cleaned up, you got to get your everything else prepped, or well, prepped, sort of. It was never actually prepped to begin with. But all in here is this little kit, which they sent to me, which has a couple different things in it. I ordered. So you're gonna have your oil filter, which I'm gonna go ahead and put in now. Which I forget which way that goes in, but I'm gonna try and remember. If I remember correctly, when you put these oil filters in, you always put the open side inwards. So I think I will double check that though. Okay, that is in fact the way it goes on. Opening goes in. So always be sure to double check everything you do, even if you hear it from, you know, some random dude on YouTube. I don't know. Whatever you want to do is what you do anyway. That doesn't look like it needs to be cleaned out at all. But just remember, because of how nasty it was when we took it off, just double check everything anyway. Okay, now, I'm gonna show you again. When you are trying to get this oil filter thing off, you're not gonna be able to like pull this little block out from in here, because it sits in here kind of like that is the way it sits in there. And that triangle, you're gonna notice it's gonna have like a little triangle on it. That goes towards the crankcase. So that's what you're gonna want to do with that. And yeah, so that's how that goes on there. And this does have a couple O-rings on it, but those didn't seem to come with the packaging, so I'm gonna just throw it on anyway and call it a day. Who cares? I'm gonna put my oil thing in, and when you go to put I was gonna show you this, but I didn't. When you go to put the thing back on, just push the pedal down, up, and then down, and you're able to pull this back just enough to where you can fit stuff in. It's gonna get caught right there. That's perfectly fine. Just you gotta hold it there. It takes 2 hands to jam it together. That's what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now. Just push that down, pull that back, and always make sure your triangle goes towards the crankcase, and wiggle it in. Kind of like gotta force it in right there. Make sure your pedal's not broken, because I break stuff all the time. So then take one of your bolts, bottom. I usually do bottom first, but you can do it whatever way you want. Suggestion for if you have 4-wheeler plastics that you don't want to paint or don't want to put the time in the paint, you want to bring back to life, just take like a heat gun, or I use matte gas, which is pretty aggressive for that. Just use a heat gun, a really good heat gun, and heat up the plastic until it looks like it's getting a little bit darker and starting to melt a little bit, to the point where it's like you wouldn't want to touch it, but just pretty warm, and it'll heat the plastic up and melt it, and it'll bring back the color. So I could show you what that looks like, but I'm probably going to do that in a different video, because I'm currently working on a lawnmower too that I'm going to sell, that I just repainted actually, but I didn't get video of that. I'll figure out how to paint it and get a video of that, show you how to do that. Just screw these on. Okay, so now that we're done putting the filter back in, I have a fill cap, or I'm sorry, a drain cap, the filter for it and the spring. I'll show you how that goes in. I just have to get this one out, which I only hand tightened because I knew I was going to take it off again. So with your drain plugs, your oil drain plugs, oil filters, anything like that, only ever get it to the point where it's like hand tight or snug. You never want to torque them down. And if you do torque them down, stop doing that. That's annoying. People have to work on your stuff too, not just you. Yeah, let me get this out. Oh, shit. It looks like there's a little bit more oil in it, guys. That is now currently on the floor. So we're gonna have to clean that up. Let me get some paper towels. Today we're using the expensive ones. That's all I got. Okay, so how this goes in here is you're just gonna take your O-ring, put it around your fill cap, or drain cap, sorry, keep saying fill cap. Put it around your fill drain, put it around your drain plug. Then you're gonna take your spring here, and you're gonna place your spring in the center of that cap, and then you're going to take your, got oil on my hands, I can't open anything. Take your little filter here, stick it in there. It catches all of that metal and debris that you get in there, which it looks like it has some stuff in there it's not supposed to have, but it has some angles and whatever in there. Then you just take your fill cap, and it's pretty annoying to get it back up in there. It takes a little bit of force to do it. You just take it, shove it in, and then tighten it down. There it goes. The reason I'm changing the fill cap or drain plug, sorry, I keep saying fill cap. The drain plug is because this one got all chewed up from whoever decided to torque it down. So don't torque down drain plugs or fill plugs or oil filters. If you do, you're an abomination. I want you to know that. Everybody dislikes you. There you go. Just get it. These have little pegs that you can push on with like your hand right there. So just push on those. That's probably good enough even. It's got an O-ring. Let the O-ring do its job. And don't let your head hit this peg on the way home, because that sucks. I did that one time. So that's on there. That's on there. Oil change complete, other than the drain and fill plug on your mid-gear, which I can't do right now because I got to put that back on. Separate video. So that's how you do an oil change on your Yamaha Big Bear 350. All right, that's all I have for today. Change the oil filter, oil drain plug, whatever have you. That's all I have right now. I'm gonna head inside, get cleaned up, and I'll probably come back and work on it again another time. I'll have a video out of that and how to put the mid-gear in. Probably, if there's not one, then I didn't make a video on it and I forgot. So there's that. Anyhow, that's all I got. See y'all next time.